to another episode of What's Your Grails. I'm your host, Tony Sanders. And tonight, my special guest is none other than himself, Mr. Miracle.
Hey, Tony, thanks for having me on the show. Really, like this program, like this segment of your channel. Glad to come on here and just hang out with you tonight and talk comics. Really
Man,
excited to do all this.
man, glad to have you on. I've caught a lot of episodes of The Greatest Notes. I watch them. Like, I've been in a few of the chats with y'all. and it's
Yeah.
like, you remind me of like the Simon Cowell. Like, it's going down when it comes to you.
I'm like really bitter about a lot of books, but yeah, I got a little soft heart. I'm like every once in a while I have a soft spot for a book, but well, come on, man. You gotta call them like you see them sometimes, right? Like some
Oh
of the
yeah.
books are crap. Like people are like, "Oh, I remember this from my childhood." Do you? Do you really remember it that well? Because this book is sucks.
Oh, they said there's an echo.
Oh, there's an echo in that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Hello. Let's see.
Where are you getting echo
Different.
from?
Let me see. Is it? Yeah. What's up? No, I think it's me, huh? No.
All right.
Let's see. What about now? Nope. Still.
I don't hear an echo with you.
It's like I hear it. Though. Like I can hear it. Like.
Yeah, this has been kind of a problem with some people.
Hello. Mic check. No, I still hear the echo.
Yeah, you still hearing it?
Yeah, they can hear it and I can hear it. Like, are you watching it through YouTube or are you watching
I'm watching it through StreamYard.
StreamYard?
Yeah.
Like, uh, like, do you have headphones or?
Nope.
No, no. Oh,
No, I just have the.
that's weird. Like, usually you can, because I know you've been on here before with that.
I have.
Yeah. What is this echo? That's all.
There's got to be something. Hmm. Is it both of us echoing or just one of us?
See, it's just me. But hold on, let me see something. All right, hello, hello. Y'all can still hear me? Like, am I echoing now? So let's see. No, it's still. Damn. See, like,
Better.
it, yeah, it's like whenever, cause like when I mute my side, it's like, and then when I meet you, it's like I'm talking now, and it's like there's no echo. But like right now, is it good? It's something. I don't know what it is. That's weird. Hello?
You still there?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
still here. I can hear you.
Yeah, no, I can hear you, but I
All
don't
right,
know.
good. There it is.
You're okay?
Yeah, yeah, that's good now. I don't hear no echo now. We're good.
Perfect. Wait.
Sweet.
Right. There you go.
But now that we've got past the technical difficulties, Mr. Miracle, the
Hey,
first thing I ask my guests is, what is your holy grail?
if I had like unlimited money and
Yeah,
opportunity, well,
yes.
I definitely get Action Comics #1. I love that book. I mean, there's just over 100 copies in the world. Getting your hands on a copy of it.
Oh, did you ever hear about the story where like a guy was like renovating a house and like you know the story? Do you know
Yeah, man. Found one in the wall.
Yeah, found it in the wall, and then like he took it home, and like his aunt like ripped the cover off of it or
Oh
whatever,
my
and
god.
like
Yeah, the article I read was like that's like a $75,000 rip that like
yeah,
she fucking
yes,
burned, man. I was like,
yes,
oh, dude.
yeah. So it was like crazy. I was like, when I read this story, I was like, that's crazy because it was like it dropped the value of the book, but it was still high though for the value of the book though. It was like crazy.
Yeah, and I think like they were saying like it was a fixer upper house suite, paid like 45 grand or 50 grand at an auction for it.
Yeah, And
So
like
like,
the book was worth more than the house.
yeah, man. Even like super low grades are 100 grand.
Man, I was like one time I was showing my sister-in-law because she was saying like the market or whatever. Oh, if you have books, it just depends on the market because as if somebody wants to buy it. And I was like, I showed her. I was like, well, this is the market right now. Like if she's looking at the prices, she's like, people pay that, and I was like, they wouldn't list them if there weren't people out there that would want him. you
Oh
know.
yeah, right. And you know guys that are paying like over $3 million for a copy. Like they're serious investors. They know what they're doing. They're buying that for a reason. Like that's not just to go in their collection. That's an investment.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They're expecting a return of double that in a few years.
Oh yeah. Well, I got a book, but it's not no. It's got no investment. I just thought it was something kind of cool that I picked up. It's a key moment in my childhood, and everybody
Yeah.
remembers this Flash show from the '90s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, check that out. Yeah, I got the whole set. I was like, yo, the original set. I got the whole set, and then like, so bam, yeah, I had this already. So I was like, yo, I seen that, and I was like, look at that. That just goes. I told you I'm a Flash
Never
fiend
cool.
right now. I'm a Flash fiend right now. I don't know, man. I don't know. I got a problem.
No, that's really cool.
So
Man,
yeah,
I can't believe you brought up that old show, and I haven't thought about that in years. Years. I'm never watching that on TV.
man, like I
Yeah.
used to love like when it first came out. I remember I was like, because it was like X-Men was like the cartoon back then, and like the Flash was the only thing I could watch that was like DC that was like super, like live action kind of cool. You
Yeah,
know,
right. Like there were none of these CW shows or anything like
no,
that, right?
I
So
don't
yeah,
know,
like
yeah,
we ate up any kind of
like
comic book movie
yeah,
or TV show back then, boy, because they're
anything.
few and far between.
Dude, I remember watching the horrible Captain America movie, the horrible one where the dude's
Yeah,
got the helmet. I watched it.
yeah, man, I watched it too. Right? He's like riding around, jumping on. I think you got this picture of him like flying out of the back of a van on a motorcycle and stuff. Like it was terrible, but
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. But I watched
loved
it
it.
though. It was like one of them things where it's like that's all we had back then. It's like kids nowadays don't know how good they got it. Cause it's like my son takes, like seeing like the Avengers and Captain Marvel and all that stuff on, the big screen and all these superhero shows on TV and streaming services for granted, because they think that's how it is. And I'm like, no, man, we're in a golden age right
Oh yeah,
now.
man. Like we wanted a flying character in our movies. There was a guy on wires like going by, right? Like
Yeah,
we're behind a green screen. Like I
yeah,
said, I have a daughter. I tried to show her the first Superman movie. She's like, no, this sucks, right? Like totally doesn't want to watch it. But she likes the MCU ones, right?
yeah. And it's like, man, it's like crazy because it's like that's what we had, and that's what Hey, that's what we had. And what's funny is on this show, Mark Hamill was the trickster. So Mark Hamill
Mhm.
played the trickster in this
Right.
show. So that was kind of cool. The
That's cool.
Joker, the voice of the Joker.
Yeah, he's gonna reprise his role as a Joker. Someone said, I think he's gonna be in a live action deal.
Yeah, I'd like to
Hmm.
see him do something because he's got the
Yeah.
cool voices.
Oh yeah, he's the Joker's voice now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's like, and this book right here is oh, it's a 15 cent. Speaking of that, it's a 15 center. And this is the Mighty Thor 166. And like, man, I think this is gonna happen. So I don't know. People are saying, but I think that's gonna happen eventually. We're gonna see Thor versus Adam Warlock sometime. I'm just saying, I think it'll happen.
Yeah, no, that's a great spec book, right? Like 165 is one of the big keys, but right
Yeah,
behind it, I think should be 166 because to me, getting a first appearance, you got to have like that first full thing. If it's 2 issues, you need both issues to have that first full appearance.
yeah.
Do you got 165?
No, that's on my hunt list. Do you got it?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, whip it out, whip it. Out. Yeah, you got it
Oh
on
man.
here.
See, I was gonna try. Hang on, I'll get back
Go,
on.
go ahead, whip it out on us.
Where'd it go? I didn't even dig it out because. Oh, here it is. I'm trying not to show Kirby books because I might use this one against.
Oh, okay.
Right? Yeah, there you
My bad, my bad.
go.
We'll still allow it. We'll still allow it.
Right. So I bought this years and years ago. This is like,
Man, that good. Hold that up again. That good black cover right there. Let everybody see that.
yeah, that's like a near mint copy, man. It's perfect.
Man, man. And shouts out to TiVo because I was like, I got rid of that color screen because it kind of killed my eyes last time too. So I was like, I'll go black and white for y'all and help y'all out. Hey, what is up? Mean JB, what is up? Discovery Bay, the
Hey,
boy who had
JB.
7. Jeffrey Comic Con, what is up, my bro? And we got who at Bub's Comics. I'm really Simeon, Mr. Gretzky 9966. We got Metarog in the house. Let's see who else is in here. GRV Gaming, what's up, bro? We got Sam I Am Comics, comic book lurkers, what's up?
Yeah, we got a good full chat here.
Yes, we do. They want to see some of these grails in here. Now, what got you in to collecting?
I was like a fat kid, so I didn't do a lot of other stuff like collecting comic books and drawing and stuff like that, right? So I've actually, I've been collecting since I was like a little kid. Like, honestly, what got me into collecting, my dad collected comics, right? So he liked the hobby. Unfortunately, he's got one of those stories where when he went away in the Navy, when he was away, my grandmother threw away or gave away his entire collection. But
Oh man.
I know he was talking. He was a big Captain Marvel fan, so he like had all the Captain Marvels. He said, like,
Oh man, and we're talking about timely. We're
like
talking about like
Shazam,
well, you're talking
yeah,
about like Shazam, right? We're talking
yeah,
about that. Yeah,
like
yeah,
classic comics.
yeah.
But
Fawcett.
anyway, so like he always encouraged us to read comic books because it was a good way to learn to read and stuff. So every Sunday after church, we would stop at the little corner store and we were allowed to buy 2 comics, me and my 2 brothers, right? So that's kind of where I started buying comics and reading comics and getting Spider-Man. And I just got more and more interested into the whole hobby of it and collecting more and more. And then, pretty soon it just like takes over everything. And then of course I kind of stopped when I was in, my late teens, early 20s, like a lot of people did.
Yeah.
And then I probably picked up the hobby again maybe 15, 16 years ago now.
I mean, going strong, huh?
It's going strong, man. Still going crazy, right?
My wife, like, she looks at me like now. She's like, "What happened to the guy I married?" And I'm like, "I'm still here. I just, I collect comic books now." And she's just like, "Okay." But
Yeah.
she does like when I put on the shades and I act a jackass like the toad. She loves that part.
I can remember the first time I brought my wife over to my place before we were married when we were first dating, and just like there was action figures and comic books and everything all over the place, right? And I was just like, well, we'll see what she says, right? I got to let her into the house at some point.
Oh yeah,
Got her in
like
there. She was like, wow, there's a lot of stuff in here.
I think mine had a heads up because like usually all I wear is like like right now I'm rocking Aquaman. Like I'll usually wear like like I'm wearing like a print superhero T-shirt and some Nikes or some Jordans or something and some
Right.
jeans or nothing special, man. That's how I think that's me. That's just like should be common attire. you know,
Hey,
like
for me, it is, brother.
so.
Yeah, my wife buys me fancy clothes and stuff, and they just hang in the closet. She's like, fine, I'll just buy you comic book T-shirts.
So I'm gonna show this one right here. I'm showing all. I'm trying to show all raw books tonight from my man, Mr. Miracle.
Do
I'm
it.
not trying to throw out any slabs. I'm trying to throw out a little different for y'all tonight. What's up? What's up, Art Chemist? What's up? This one here is Justice League of America #9, the origin of the Justice League.
That's a great book, man. Very cool.
It's a little beat up, but it's all there. That's all that mattered to me.
That's
It was
all
all
that
there.
matters. Yeah, I'll show you a book here. I got Action Comics number 254. And that is the true first appearance of Bizarro.
Dang, that is
Right.
nice.
So that's like this one predates Fantastic Four #1. And you can still find this book on eBay for fucking dirt cheap. It's just such an undervalued book, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
First, like everybody thinks the Superboy 68 is the first appearance,
Yeah, yeah.
but that's actually Kid Bizarro, and he dies in that comic. The Bizarro that joins like the Society of Supervillains and fights Superman for the next decades is this guy.
So that other guy. Oh man, that's crazy then.
Yeah, so that's a great book if you're looking for spec books.
See, look, Mr. Miracle dropping that knowledge on y'all. So
It's what I
That's,
do.
hey, he said it's cheap. Go have me on there looking tonight. So I will pull out a quick little. This is my kind of a little story. This is a story grail for me. Like I like the story and actually like the artwork and stuff in there. But like really, it's I'm gonna have to just show you in a sequence here, I guess,
Yeah.
and see me if you tell me if you know what it is, because you should know what it is.
Oh yeah. Right there.
Number one,
Very nice.
that one right, newsstand. See what newsstand?
That's one of my all-time favorite covers. That one right there. That Mike Zeck cover is just it's so brilliant.
That's why he's the mascot baby of the hunt. This story right here is what set it off for me. Was like, yo, another newsstand right there.
Yeah,
Number
very nice.
three, another newsstand.
Another super great cover by Mike Zeck there.
Oh
Like
yeah,
that's iconic.
that's like this whole like, and like I literally hunted these down, like physically hunted them down, like to get them all together. And I was
I
like,
think
yeah,
I think that's a
and
smart buy,
like,
Tony, man. Like I think that whole series is going to be undervalued. Like the Craven movie, what other story are they going to do but the Last Hunt? I mean, it's the most
yeah,
famous Craven story, man.
yeah, and it's like that's another newsstand. And then last, but this the only one I think that's not a newsstand.
Yeah, just a full set of feature covers and everything.
But that's like my story grail. Like this whole like bam, like that. This like hands down, Craven's my favorite Spider-Man villain. Just like straight up, like.
Yeah, Craven, he's really good. Like he's a great villain for sure.
Hey, what's up, White Whale? Zen Manga, what's up, guys? And like my thing is like whenever like because he's due, man. I know he's due. He's due for either they could do a matter of fact. Carl Urban from The Boys could play Craven. Billy Butcher could play Craven. Billy
He
Butcher.
really did. I only seen one episode of The Boys so far, and it was pretty shocking. And I really really liked it, but I don't think my wife's too into it.
Oh man, you gotta watch it. Well, yeah, it's kind of rough on it. Like it's kind of rough. Like my kids are like in the kind of like gory, like sci-fi, like exploding, like not so much like the torture stuff, like those what's those ones those one of those one movies that came out back in the day where they were torturing like the vacation people and stuff. They don't
Oh,
like that movie, but like they
yeah,
like like they like the gore and gut stuff, like Jason. My one son, he loves like Michael Myers, and he loves like Halloween and stuff, like the good old slasher films.
I liked it, but she's got different tastes. She likes Downton Abbey and such, right?
Oh, so is there a book that you'd like to show the chat and
Yeah,
give a
yeah,
little
yeah.
insight on why you love that book?
Okay, so this book came up to me again. So recently I heard a rumor that the first appearance of Storm in the MCU is going to happen in Black Panther 2,
Okay.
right? But she's not going to be Storm, she's going to be Aurora. And if they're already putting in X-Men characters, man, Wolverine has just got to be right behind them, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm thinking it's got to be, if they're going to do, like, they're going to give them a solo movie or something, it's got to be Weapon X, right? So I got
Oh, yeah,
first
yeah.
Weapon X.
Oh, look. Now, see, I don't got that, but I got the whole story.
There you go.
Yeah, I got the whole story though. Look, you don't have to open yours. I'll open up this one over here.
You
But like,
did.
yeah. See, like, yeah, that's that goodness right there.
Look at that splash page, man. That's cool.
Yes, that's beautiful right there. And
Yeah, very cool.
man, that's
You,
so like so you've been collecting for 15 years, and like out of that 15 years, like would you say like you've accomplished like a lot of your collecting goals, or like they just keep gathering up, they just keep coming?
is there ever a collecting goal that's solved, right? Like, I mean, even if you completed the run that you had, you'll be like, oh, but I could upgrade that copy, and I'd like a nicer copy of that one, and, right? So it's never stopped. The way I collect, I try and collect in chunks, right? Like I don't want the entire run of Fantastic Four. I just want 1 to 300, right? And I want 1 to 300 of the Amazing Spider-Man, and I'll do that. I'll be like, okay, I'll take the first, 100 Thors, or the entire run of Spectacular Spider-Man is something I'd like and accomplish. And so, that's how I kind of take books, and then I buy all the keys first, because those keys are not going to get cheaper, right? I need
Yeah.
to get those out of the way fast.
All
The
right.
rest of the kind of filler books I can pick up at dollar bins or at sales or whatever afterwards. But I go for keys, and then I fill in the rest afterwards, right? Like, I'm so close to finishing the Silver Age, Bronze Age, Silver Submariner run.
Oh,
Like,
for it.
yeah,
And that's another one they were specking on too, is the
yeah.
Submariner.
I got 11 more books, and I'll have the entire thing completed. Um, Yeah, and all of the keys I've gotten now, right? Like, any of the expensive books I've gotten, the rest of the books shouldn't cost me more than about $10 a piece. So I should be in full growth, right? Like, and for me, that's like accomplishing a goal in comics. But
Yeah.
when,
Hold on a second.
your dogs. Anyway, that's how I like to collect. Like, I'll take a specific little chunk of a goal and go for it, and then buy the most expensive books because, like I said, they're not getting cheaper. And then I'll fill in afterwards. So with things like the Fantastic Four, I started with, trying to get the first 10, which of course the first 6 kind of got out of my price range and stuff like that.
Yeah, like 1, 2. What is it? 1, 2, 1, 2 got hot because of the scroll thing or whatever. That
You
got
got
hot.
hacked because of the scroll thing.
And then was it which one is it? 4? Is it 4? When do they get their costumes? Is it 4?
3, they get their
3?
costumes at
3?
3.
Yeah.
4 is
Yeah.
just kind of a filler book, but it's 4. It's number 4.
Yeah.
It's expensive, right? And then a 5, of course, is a huge key with Doctor Doom being the first appearance.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right. And then number 6 is also the second appearance. So, but I managed to get like from 7 to 50 completed now.
Well, like
Completed.
I'm an avid believer in it. If you don't get the first, get the second. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I'm a big believer in second appearances, and I think there's a lot of undervalued books in there. Origin stories.
You
I'm a big
second
fan
appearance.
of
I know you're looking over there. I see you looking. You got a good second
that.
appearance.
What are we gonna show you? All these books here. Oh yeah, like I was saying, I was just about to finish my Submariner run, so I got this in the mail just the other day. That's number 35,
Man,
and that
15 center. Yeah.
it also has a first prototype appearance of the Defenders.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, right. So Submariner, the Hulk, and Silver Surfer there. So yeah, this one was the last kind of key book I had to get in that run. So I was pretty happy to get that in the mail the other day.
Oh,
I got it for a decent price too. So
that's a good one.
yeah.
Oh, match you with another 15-cent cover. And this one right here is 18. Captain Marvel 18. Carol Danvers gets her powers in this
Oh,
book right here
yeah, that's a
from
good
Captain
one.
Marvel. So I'm sorry about the glare, but yeah, from Captain Marvel, that's where she gets her powers.
Cool. Is that on there? Mandroid?
Yeah, Mandroid.
Love it. Love it.
It's like we don't talk about this cover though, because like we just talk about 17. 17. We don't talk about the one where he's down. We talk about the one where he's showing out in front of Cap.
Yeah. All right. How about this one? You guys gone out and grabbed this book yet?
Oh man, and that's a newsstand too. What if? Oh, hey,
So one of the things about this book is there's a canon story in here called Untold Stories of the Marvel Universe, and it tells the origin story of the Eternals.
Snap.
This book is getting really hot right now. I spec'd on this book like it was one of my first YouTube videos. I was telling people to buy it. I'm like, man, buy this book. It's only you can find it for 50 cents. It's got an Eternals key, and the movie's coming out soon.
Dang.
Yeah, you can still find it in dollar bins. If you see it, grab it.
You know what's funny? I went today and I was hunting today, and I was looking and I went to Silver Surfer to go look for like the 82 and the what's the other one, 83 or 82? You know, the ones that just became keys all of a sudden.
Yeah, bro.
And
Yeah,
I go look and like they're either gone or marked up.
of course. course.
Mm.
So yeah,
Which is funny to me. That just goes to show you that like even the store owners they watch the market too. They watch to see what's going on.
you got it if you're a store owner. So
Yeah.
I went actually over to my storage unit, which is a few blocks from here.
Mhm.
Hadn't gone there in a while, and I had a few long boxes of comics in there. And one of the comics runs I had in there was Silver Surfer, and guess what I had in there?
Speak of the devil.
Right. I bought these at an estate auction. It was all part of a big box of comics that I bought for $25. So when I calculated up the cost of it wasn't even like a comic box. It was like in a regular cardboard box.
Yeah.
I paid 8 cents a piece for these.
Well, you got your money back on them.
I think I got my return. When I found out these were hot books, I was like, "What? Really? Those ones? Okay, sure."
Yeah, and I went to go see. I was like, let me go see it. And like, they're getting up there. I just thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah, man, I've had those for years. Never even occurred to me that that would turn into a.
Yeah, it's just like
It-
it's just like sometimes you just like I say that's weird. It's like sometimes your collecting puts you ahead of specking. It's like
oh yeah, like
it's like
and I just buy everything. I'm like such an idiot that way, right? Like sometimes it turns out in my favor. I'm like, oh yeah,
so
I need all these Whitman comics for no reason, right? Like,
so I'm gonna show this cover because like when I seen this one when it first came out, I ran to go get it because I was like it was like one of the coolest cover I've ever seen, coolest negative cover I've ever seen. And since you're on the show,
yeah, oh yeah, man, I want that cover. That's such cool. Like that whole negative dark side is just
you don't have it.
no, I don't have it. It's one of
I'll
those
send it.
ones
Give me
like,
your
oh
address.
my
Give
word.
me your address. I'll send it to you.
Oh man, that's fine. I'll find it.
You sure? I'll send it to you for real if you want it, man.
I appreciate that. You don't have to ship stuff all the way up here to Canada.
I'll send it, bro. If you don't have one, I'll send it to you. It's no big deal.
All right, I'll think.
Just give me your address. You know what? You need to DM me.
Yeah, I
so
love that cover.
so that was I had that for a while, and I was like, yo, you were coming on. I was like, I gotta show it. And then now to find out you don't have one, you're getting it. You're getting it. I don't care.
All right, all
I'll
right.
get your address somehow. I'll get it from Bubs or somebody. I'll get it from somebody.
Yeah, there's a few people that know it. 84.
I'll get it from somebody.
Okay, so what I wanted to bring up, and this is just the trade. Superman Red Sun. I just
Oh,
I just read this book. This series is fantastic read, man. This is really cool.
and that's the one where he crash lands in the Soviet Union, right? Where
Yeah, like he instead of crashing in Kansas, he crashes in the Ukraine somewhere.
that's crazy. Oh,
Yeah, man,
man,
it is so well written. I'm definitely going to go out and buy
the single issues
the
or
single issues, man. They're actually getting pretty expensive, but I think they still got room to grow, and I want them. Because yeah, this was a fantastic story. If anybody's in the chat wants to like get a fabulous read, man, this series Superman Red Sun is really great.
oh wait, hold on one second. My buddy from New York that I game with, he said, I still owe him a box of whatchamacallit. He said, send me the candy you owe me. Dang. Because he said up in New York they don't have whatchamacallit. So I was like, really? You don't have whatchamacallit? Shout outs to MTW Show TV out there.
Tony, I have no idea what a whatchamacallit is.
It's a candy bar.
Okay. we don't get them in Canada.
Okay. So this is a book I showed on the Hunt cover championship. So Bernie writes, and I showed it on Instagram, and I tweaked it up a little bit on Instagram, and I like to show the back part first because it's just so beautiful. It's like
Super cool.
Bernie writes, and then it's Spider-Man Hooky. It's Marvel graphic novel number 22.
Beautiful, man. I'm glad I got to meet Bernie Wrightson when he was here for Comic Expo.
Man, I've been like, let me send it. Hey, what's up, Comics Mix Explain? Yeah, I had a good time with him in Chicago. And he can hang with the best of them.
Right. All right, so I got a little weird cover here. Now, this when getting ready for Slab Down. Like one of the categories was horror, and nobody knew what category they were getting yet. So I actually found this. And I thought, oh, this was a great horror cover. And it's pretty kind of shocking, but I'm going to show it anyway. Look at that. It's a Mexican comic.
Oh, what is it? Oh, that is cool though.
Like, and it's got this guy with the headless woman on there, right?
Yeah, and then like the chicks all freaking out and
Yeah, and it's Il Butcher. I don't know, something the butcher.
that's
Anyway,
crazy.
so yeah, like in the in the 60s and 70s when the Comic Code Authority came in the US, comics changed a whole bunch, but that Comic Code didn't happen in Mexico, right? So they could get away with crazy, crazy shit on their covers and stories. Yeah, that cutting her head off there is crazy
Yeah, that is.
and really well done.
That's like pre-code horror though. That's like look,
Yeah,
that DS at 1955.
but I actually think this is from like the mid 80s.
Like man.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Now
And
I have
it's
a
like tiny, right?
I think it's a Juice Goo. Like it's like a horror cover, but it's a Christmas one though. And it was like we had done like the Christmas hunt show episode, and I got that book for the episode.
Right?
And let me go see if I can. I think I just seen it. Just give me a second. I'll see if I can find it real quick. Real quick.
No worries. Do what you gotta do.
So, in your collect, like, so you said you met Wrightson.
Yep.
So he was pretty cool.
He was a really nice man. He was kind of busy when I got to meet him, so I didn't get to chat for too long with him, unfortunately. But at least I got to meet him, and it was a couple years before he passed away. So it was really nice when I talked to him for the little time that I had with him. But the best guys I ever got to talk with is I went to the expo one year, and like this was way back before people were really getting big into getting books signed. So Chris Claremont and Len Wein were sitting together. Like Len had moved over to Chris's table, and they were just kind of sitting chatting with one another because there was nobody in their lines. And I walked up and got him to sign a couple comics and chatted with them for a while. And yeah, I mean, like a good long while, about half an hour, I was talking to those two guys. So that was cool. They were both really, really nice guys, especially Len Wein. He was such a nice guy.
Man, see, I didn't get to meet a lot of people yet because I've only been to a few cons, and that's kind of crazy on my end. But like the ones I've been to, like they've been a blast. So
yeah, our cons are always fun in a way, right? Now I tend not to go to the big ones anymore because it's all about cosplay and movie stars. So I try to go to like more buyer shows and that kind of thing when I like to buy comics, and I don't like to slab comics.
So how do you feel about slabbing comics since you like the raw books? I know it's kind of weird. I'm doing the interview for like across the room. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Do what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing over there.
I'm just trying to find this book for.
Oh, yeah, you're digging through your piles. That's what I'm hearing.
Digging through these long boxes.
There you go.
Trademark TiVo.
What was the question you asked?
Oh, how do you feel about slabbing books?
Oh, right, slabbing books. Yeah, to me, I just think it's a bit of a waste for me. Like that's for me personally, man. Like I know how to grade comics. I don't need somebody else to tell me how to do it, or tell me what their grade is. And anybody can learn this skill. It's not something that these guys have some special power or anything. You can learn it too. There's books, right? Comic guides. Oh, my comic guideline. And there's books on grading and all that kind of stuff. So sending it to have some other guy tell me what grade I already know it is, and then I'm paying all this money for what? A plastic case? I got plastic cases. They weren't that expensive, right? I'd rather buy comic books than plastic cases.
Yeah, I can see what
I
you're
like
saying.
to think about it, right? I mean,
So
if you're a slab collector, I've got nothing against you. If you're a slab collector, collect slabs. Comic book collecting is personal, man. Like, do what you got to do to make your collection.
Well, that's like when I came back. Like I didn't know when I first got back into collecting. I'm like you. It was bag and board, and in a long box, and that was it. And then, like somebody was like, "You slabbing that book?" And I'm like, "What?"
What does that mean? Yeah, maybe that's part of it too, Tony. Because back when I was a kid, there was no such thing as a CBC, right? No, there was no slab books or anything like that. You just got the books you got. I mean, people, and you graded them yourself. You're like, no, this one's rough. No, this one's very fine. You know, this one's
Yeah,
good.
that's true. Yeah.
Right? So,
So I'm gonna show you a rough one here,
oh,
but
what do you got?
but this book is a hunt championship. I won the hunt with a raw book, and I've done it twice. I won the cover championship with a raw book, but I won the hunt with a raw book, and not just a raw book, a tanned, beat up book that won. And this is Avengers 55.
Oh yeah, first Ultron.
Yeah, and I
Very
actually
nice.
won the hunt with this.
That's a great cover.
It was like
How much did you end up paying for that?
it was free.
There you go. Good price.
I
Yeah,
bought some books from my buddy, and he was like, he threw this in because he had like two copies, and this was like the worst one, and he was like, here you go. I was like, thanks.
man. See, sometimes it's just like they just comic books just come to you, you know. All right, I'm gonna. I
Well,
got
the negative dark side's coming to somebody in Canada.
I appreciate it. I really like that cover. Okay, so just to promote my own homeland here, I found this another copy of this one. And a lot of you guys probably don't even know this book.
I got that. I got.
You
Oh
got
man,
it?
yes I do. And I was gonna pull it up, but I was like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't. But I'm glad you did though. That
Yeah, man, I got to be stereotypical somehow, right?
yes, Captain Canuck, yo, that's the stuff.
It's terribly drawn. Like the guy that
Yes.
drew the thing is terrible at it.
But that's what makes it so good to me, though. It's like it's so bad that it's like that movie that's like you watch it because you know it's so bad, but it's good to you.
Yeah, Leprechaun. Anyway, yeah, like but the story itself is really good, and the concept is really good. He's like a cop in the future with superpowers, right, and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, like the terror. But this is a really important book to Canadian comic publishing because it really opened the door to the American market for Canadian comic producers, and that's kind of why it's a really big book for Canadian comics. You
yeah.
know what I mean? Even though it's not very well drawn, and it was published really cheaply, and the paper's crap and stuff. But
But I mean, like it's like I don't know. Like I said, I had it. I was like, I bought it, and I was like, it was something that I wanted, and I was like, yeah, I definitely wanted it.
nice.
Don't ask me why, but I have it. And I just have to show this one because all the I don't know, like, are they even still talking about the Black Adam movie? Are they even still doing that? Like, because I heard The Rock was in talks with somebody else.
Do not hold your breath on that
Yeah,
movie. They've been talking about that movie for 10 years now, and it still
yeah, and
hasn't.
it's like, well, I'm gonna show this one anyway. This is just a cool Black Adam cover.
It's a very cool Black Adam cover. Who did that cover?
Alex Ross,
Ross. Yeah, it looks like Ross.
Faces of Evil. I got the other one where it's Parasite. Parasite's on the cover.
Nice. Parasite. There's an undervalued villain. He's a cool villain, right?
Yeah, it's like I always liked him like in like the show, like the cartoon or whatever he was in there, and like whenever he'd be on like any of the like if they I don't know was he on Smallville? I want to say he was on Smallville.
Did they have a Parasite on Spawn? I don't remember him being
Hell,
on
because
them.
like cause I want to say they had everybody on there because they even had Doomsday on there. I was like, dude.
Right. See, you watched Smallville too. It's been a while, but I watched that whole thing. Like we were talking, we take any comic book stuff.
Mm-hmm. Anything back then, man, we didn't care.
Yeah, man.
Like, just let me get it.
What can we do? Um, this is one I got recently. Really nice copy of
Oh
number 25, which has the first cameo of Mary Jane.
man, that is cool.
Yeah, it's a
I
really
always
nice.
thought it was like a weird, like the weird, like the tentacles and stuff, and then like it's got J. Jonah Jameson's face. I always thought that was kind of weird, but it's always a cool cover though.
Yeah, it's like the Spider Slayer, right? Like it's some robot Steve Ditko drew up and the hunt after Spider-Man. So yeah, I think that's a great pick for a book too if you can find it for a half decent price. I think Mary Jane's going to have a lot more to do with the Spider-Man property there in the movies too.
Oh yeah, like yeah, I'm with Bubs because he said Black Adam and Gambit are in the same boat. Like yeah, because they've been hollering about Gambit forever. Like oh, Gambit's coming, Gambit, yeah.
And
Nah.
I think even at one point they had cast an actor to be Gambit.
Yeah, Channing, like Channing Tatum kid, I think
What was
was the
that?
one.
Man, he's probably
Yeah,
famous for that one though. Maybe not. But yeah, like they talked about Gambit for a long time. They've been talking about who else we've been talking about for a long time.
a lot
Black
of people.
Adam.
Black Adam.
Everybody.
Uh, I'd like to I'd like to see an Alpha Flight movie.
Alpha Flight. Yeah.
Yes, I'm not. No, I am a fan of Alpha Flight. I'm sorry. I would like to see an Alpha Flight movie.
Hey, I'm an
Like,
Alpha Flight fan.
I'd like to see somebody cast as Puck, and I'd like to see like a Sasquatch, and then like a guard, just all those characters just like come on the screen, because it's like what was funny was like when they had it was the Deadpool, was it two, and they he got out of the cab and on top it said Alpha Flight, and it was like on the top of the cab you could read it. It said Alpha Flight, and it was like saying coming soon, and I was like, I wish it
Oh,
was coming
really?
soon.
I
Yeah,
never
go back and
noticed
look.
that. I'll watch that for that.
Yeah, go back and look when Deadpool gets out of the cab. On top of the cab, it says Alpha Flight coming soon, and then it's like on top of the cab. I don't know if it's just like them ribbing at people, or if it's just like but it
I
was
don't. I can't really foresee them doing an Alpha Flight movie. I mean, maybe
yeah,
way in the future, but I mean, Alpha Flight was never that popular a book,
yeah.
right? And the characters are a little obscure.
Oh yeah,
You never
like
know. I mean, who thought they would do a Guardians of the Galaxy movie and never?
yeah, like when they said that, I was like, really, the guard? Like when I first heard it, I was like, the Guardians? I'm thinking,
Yeah, me too. I was like, oh, yeah, what? Those guys? And then I heard and Rocket Raccoon. Like, really? They're gonna put like he's horrible. No, he's an awesome character now. Like, no, right? Like, and that's a lot of difference, I think, between people like me that grew up with the comic books and we have certain preconceived notions of these characters
oh yeah,
versus kids that now grew up with the MCU movies, right?
yeah,
If
that's
you
true.
were if you were 8 when the MCU movies first came out, now you're 18 or whatever. Those comic book characters are defined for you by the movies, right? Like
Yeah,
for my daughter, she doesn't know anything about comic books or history of comic books, and she's not interested, but she likes the movies. So for her, Spider Man's origin and everything like that is the movie. Iron Man's origin is that movie, right? That's to her, that's Iron Man. To me, I'm thinking of like the guy that was an alcoholic and lost his kid
yeah.
and came back and gets beat up and all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's
Hey,
different.
what's up, Jake's Kingdom? And JD Flair, the Hunt World Champion, is in the chat.
Oh yeah, he's getting all warmed up for your next show, is he?
Oh yeah. And this book right here is Captain America 109. You was talking about Jack Kirby earlier.
Oh, very nice. Captain America's origin story. I think it's not. It's like
It's
it tells the story, but it doesn't reprint the Captain America #1, right?
yeah, it just tells the story again. And it's like I've read it a couple. I think I have a video where it's like a real crappy video. I just open it up and I flip through it. it's like,
We all
it's
like
like
the crappy videos.
yeah, I leave them up. I love crappy videos, man. Like I show them all.
Love it too.
Uh,
All
so
right.
what's another good book you got over there? I see them all behind. I see that Conan behind you. I see. I
What
just
do I got? Conan Barbarian, Silver Surfer #4.
yeah, that's Silver Surfer #4, man. That's off the chain. Like a lot of people, and like your Silver Surfer right there that you drew. Like I was telling you earlier that you posted on Instagram. That
Yep.
thing is awesome. And then like the lettering you did and stuff,
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, it worked out really well, that one.
I was like, but I said it does. Go on Instagram and go look it up because like Mr. Miracle, it looks better on Instagram because you can see more detail into it. But it's like it's awesome because
Yeah.
like it shines different on the Instagram pictures.
Oh, maybe I can get it to shine a bit better. I can get some. Now I want the shine. It won't happen.
Oh, there it is. There it is. You can see it. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, the lettering.
And the lettering, man, like all done by Mr. Miracle himself.
Yeah, and that's all pencil crayon. It's all done in pencil crayon.
Oh, okay. Look at DS said that's a cover swipe.
What is?
That 109. No, of the Cap, my Cap 109.
Oh, the Cap 109. Okay.
Yeah, he said it's a cover swipe of a Golden Age Blue Beetle cover. Oh, cool.
Oh, neat. Here's a good book people should be looking to look for. It's 15th Center, just Thor 168.
Oh yeah.
So this has Galactus's origin
I should have
story.
got that. I could have won.
Oh, man, that cover is awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Maybe I should have held on to this one for slab down.
Yeah, I would have pulled that one out. I got the Kirby hand, man. Look at that,
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
man.
But yeah, we again, like if you guys can't tell yet, I'll keep talking about the movies and comic books and stuff because if you go to my channel, my video is all about spec books, right? Like what's going to come up, what's going to get hot. So I spend a lot of time researching the movies, researching rumors from different sources and whatnot, and try to figure out what characters are coming up and what characters are likely to come up, right? So we all know Galactus is coming up.
Oh yeah.
And his first fucking appearance is just unbelievably expensive all of a sudden, right? I'm glad I have a copy of it myself from a long time ago.
I'm left out in the cold. It's all right though.
But this is a great book if you want.
Yeah, I like that. That is nice though.
Because
That will be acquired.
yeah, it's a key to Galactus because it's his origin story, right?
Man.
And then the next book too. So there's a few books that kind of make up that little series of his origin story. Yeah, I love that cover.
I always like the fact that they like when they had the trial of the Reed Richards where they put him they put him on trial or whatever for not killing Galactus, and he was like, I can't kill him because he's a force of nature, and if I
Right.
do, something bad will happen, and then I think in the same story, like he gets whenever Galactus dies, that's when that other guy shows up and he starts just wiping. Well, it's a long story, but it's a good deal.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about. I think my favorite story with Galactus and Reed Richards is Galactus came to Earth at one point to ask Reed Richards for help because Reed
Really?
Richards is the smartest person that Galactus had ever met.
That's crazy.
And
Cause that's he considers everybody gnats, So it's like
I know, and he's been around since the beginning of the universe. So
hey, could you imagine Reed Richards just sitting outside on the balcony sipping some coffee, and Galactus just walks up, hey man, can you give me a hand real quick?
yeah. Mind if I ask you for a favor, Reed? Since you're a galactic being and all.
Yeah. So I'm gonna show this book right here. Since the movie, they're gonna have the part 2 movie, and since this one is kind of I don't know, it's not that bad off, but it looks like it went up from when it originally was. But
Oh yeah, Black Panther.
if you can't get that one, then do because that Blade book did the same thing. So just get this one, and get some more Kirby goodness.
That Black Panther book is pretty nice.
Get that more Kirby goodness.
Mm.
Something about Kirby's hands, man.
I know it's perspective, right?
Yeah, it's dude, he draws the hand set it up, that one you showed with Galactus. It just sets it off like that. Show it again one more time. Look at the hand, man. Look at that, dude. You feel bad for Thor. You're back up.
And people always bug on Kirby sometimes because of his anatomy or whatever, but he does that purposely. If you go back to his Golden Age work where he was working on romance comics, his anatomy is spot on. He draws people perfectly. They look like little pictures of people. His anatomy is perfect. He does this purposely. He's doing a comic book style for a comic book, right? And he just developed this style that he liked for doing comic books.
And it's probably fast for him and stuff that he liked. It was fast and probably.
Yeah, probably fast because he put out a lot of work. He was putting out a lot of issues at a month at some points. He was doing 4 or 5 issues, different series of books.
Which is crazy because back then they got paid by the page, or wasn't it the page? Yeah, page, wasn't it? They got paid by.
I think they still do get paid by the page, but it was pretty cheap back then. It was tough to make a living as a illustrator back in those days.
Man,
those guys. You think of all the characters that Jack Kirby came up with, but he didn't die a millionaire or anything. Right?
No. well, I'm gonna show this because you're talking about the golden age. I'm gonna show this book, and I got this book because of JD because I would never get like you. Well, I've got two golden age books since I've been collecting. So I got my golden age Captain America, and then I got golden age Shadow. And I've always been a fan of the Shadow, man. I've always liked the character, and then like the cheesy, cause like back then, like the cheesy Alec Baldwin movie,
I
that came
like that
out.
movie.
I like it, I liked it, and it was like I went to the theater and watched it, and ever since then I've
Weird.
liked it, and it's like so I've been a fan of the Shadow. I've got the first appearance of him in the DC continuity where it's like him over that train, like he's like kind of like his head, and it's got the train on the bottom, like the subway train or something.
Right.
I got that one, and then I got this one because I was just like wanted a golden age. This is from 1947. This is number 7 of volume 7. So
Man, that's really cool. I love Golden Age books. I just wish I had deeper pockets so that I could afford them all. You know what I mean?
there's the guy right there. DS. Oh, hey, what's up, Steven Oates, man? What's up, man?
We got some new people in the chat.
Oh yeah, we got let's see who's else. Comics Mix Explained. I already got him. Conquistadors, how's it going? Let's see. YouTube is 90 is still in the chat. And then we got let's see who else here. Mr. Gretzky, Jigs Kingdom, White Whale, Spanky Performance. So yeah, man. So do you ever think you'll ever get to a point where you're like, I'm done, just like done collecting, or you just be like, nah?
Yeah, man. When I'm 6 feet under, that'll probably be my last day.
They were like, they found him with a comic in his hand.
It'll be in my will. Please go buy Silver Surfer number 6 to complete my run, and then I'll die happy.
What's funny is like, all right, at my job, there's a employee of mine, and he's a younger kid. He's like in college, and he's in his 20s. But he's a low key collector, but he's the one everybody at work to know. Like, I don't care. At work, everybody knows I collect, and I do YouTube, and they,
Yeah.
I make an ass myself. I don't care. And the kid, like, he always has this joke that like when I die, like he's gonna show up at my funeral with a receipt from my job, hand like fake last will written that to leave me the Green Lantern #1. And I told him, I was like, I have a feeling that you would show up at my funeral and be like, yeah, your husband said the Green Lantern #1 was mine. So I tell him that all the time, like, don't do that. He's like, and my wife thinks it's funny because he says that to me when I'm, when she sees him or whatever, he'll see, I'll see you at the funeral.
My kid.
Like, man, I'm like, kid wishing for me to die so I can get a book.
We've all had that thought a little bit. Somebody. Anyway.
Uh,
All right, here's a good book that I picked up.
oh, that is on my list. Like,
Bronze Age Joker #1.
favorite Batman villain.
Yeah, unfortunately, this book is horrible.
Really?
Like, as a read, it's terrible. It was right in the middle of the big clowny period. It was.
Oh, he wasn't the crazy Joker, was he?
This book hadn't come out yet. He hadn't changed.
Oh, so he was still like the comic, but still, like, man, I thought I'll still get it for the cover anyway.
The art in it is fantastic, and like, yeah, I love the art, but the story, it reads like Saturday morning cartoon kind of story.
No,
like a hostess dad, like one of those kind of. It's bad.
Does it got the bam paf stuff in there, like bam bam?
No, it's pretty. It's still pretty close.
Man.
But yeah, I still think it's a fun book. It's Bronze Age #1, which is always a hot book to grab.
Oh yeah, anything
And
number
there is
one.
a Joker movie coming this year too, right? With the Joaquin Phoenix, which I'm really excited about to see that movie.
See, I'm wondering if they're going to try to play into like that 3 Joker thing. Like, oh, there's 3 different Jokers, or
Well, I've heard that it has nothing. The Joker movie has nothing to do with the comic book story. Like they've taken it a completely different direction. But people that have seen it are saying it should get an Oscar.
Dang.
Yeah.
Must
So
be that good then. We must have to see that.
Well, he had Martin Scorsese involved in it, right? Like he's involved in it right from the beginning. He was going to direct it, but he put his like basically his best director at his movie house onto the movie and was producer of it and stayed with the movie. So
Oh,
he
that's
is Martin
cool.
Scorsese, man.
Yeah, because he be belting them out with Leo.
So
Leo the cat.
I'm hoping it's kind of like like a Goodfellas, but with the Joker, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
man, like it could be awesome. It could be totally like, what the fuck was that, right? Like, who knows, right?
Hey, sometimes you go into a movie and you're just like, what the hell did I just watch?
Yeah,
And then sometimes you walk in there, you come out and you're like, man, what the hell did I just watch? That was awesome. It's
yeah,
like,
right. Sometimes there's surprise. I like it when I'm surprised that it's better than I expected. Often you go in and you're like, man, what a waste of $15. Fuck, right? Like,
like
could
the
have
only
made,
time like I've ever literally like figuratively and literally stood up in the movie theater after a movie and straight up said I wasted my money on this, was at the end of Blair Witch.
I was gonna say, man.
At the end of Blair Witch, I literally stood up in the middle of the theater, said that line, was like, I wasted my money on this, and I cussed at it. And like about 4 or 5 other people were like, yeah, yeah. And like everybody was mad. Like,
'Cause I said the same thing at the end of Blair Witch, man. Not the same thing. I stood up and I was like, "What the fuck was that?" And everybody was like, "Yeah," and a couple people were like, "I liked it." And I was like, "Get the fuck out of my face!" I'm like, "Oh,
I was
what
like, oh,
that was a horrible freaking
that
movie."
was that was like the worst. And then like I swore off that movie franchise, and then like they came out with two, and I was like, oh, you ain't gonna burn me twice. I ain't gonna go see it, and I didn't go see it. And then like it came out on what was it, DVD or whatever, and like my girl ended up like, oh, we'll go. This is back when you could rent stuff. You can still
Yeah,
rent it. So we rented it, and I still got burnt. I felt that's because we had to rent it, and then it was like horrible. The second one was horrible as the first one, and I don't care.
terrible. But I mean, that franchise made a ton of money off of that fucking
Yeah,
little film, man.
yeah, they did. Yeah, and I'm gonna show this book right here because this is like right now. This I have to show this book because this is like going off to CGC soon because I gotta send it. I know, like I keep it raw for right now, but it's going to CGC. But my ASM 15 first appearance of Craven the Hunter. Yes, we are. Yes, yes, that's what I'm talking about. We are
Great
Grail
book.
Bros.
Yeah,
That's
man. Great book.
man. I'm telling you, like, dude, Kyle Urban. They just need to go on and be like, hey, Kyle Urban, we need you to play Craven. It could be a solo movie. It could be a solo movie, just Craven's Last Hunt, and it don't even have to have Spider-Man in it, and it would still be good.
Yeah. Do you think Craven was like the really quiet guy in Spider-Man Far From Home? Like the dark-haired guy that was in the driving the van?
Man, I hope it was, because dude, I'm telling you, I'm so just like him, and then like I was like when I was talking to GPAP, I was telling GPAP because I pulled out I think it was it, where did I have it at? But the first appearance of the Beetle, and I was like, that's another Spider-Man, villain that they don't, they haven't used that they could use, or but like Craven would be more of a bigger role though that I think that they could throw
Yeah.
out.
The Beetle, I can't really see the Beetle. Right?
Mhm.
Like he's pretty C-list character.
Yeah,
Compared
but
to Craven,
if they he could be thrown in for the Sinister Six if they want to do that.
yeah, but I think I think they wanted to use the Scorpion too.
Yeah, because they introduced him at the end of was it Homecoming?
Yeah,
Yeah, so Scorpion,
I have
something
his
like
book
that.
appearance too somewhere. Right here.
Oh snap!
Oh, and
Bam!
there's that Superboy 68 I was talking about before.
So
Right?
that's the one everybody wants, right? That's the one everybody goes after, and he dies
Yeah,
in it.
he dies. He dies. Completely dead. Where am I? I'm gonna be
Hey,
calling
what's up,
here.
Christopher Danielson?
But this is the one they should be going after.
So y'all heard it. Y'all heard it here. Go after that one. Don't go after the Superboy one. That's he dies in it. Like so, it can't be the same Bizarro dude.
This
So
is
if
a
he die,
this is a $500 book. This is a $50 book. Right?
man,
But that's his
that's
real first appearance. Anyway,
he said the imposter coverage. Oh, we had to highlight that one. Y290.
Championships. Everything's got to be a contest for that guy now.
Oh man. And let's see. Christopher Donaldson. Oh, I saw my ASM 14 2 years ago. Oh yeah. Cause dude, I was like, oh, like, yeah, I'm glad to get that one. Like, that was an AOK too. So I was like, shouts out to the Doom 143.
Nice.
And yeah, that was kind of a cool deal, man. Like, I'm happy to have that. Like, I'm sending my copy to CGC because like, I'm actually waiting for my Captain Britain #1. Like, what was funny was like I had sent it off to CGC, right?
Right.
And I usually send it FedEx, but for some reason I was closer to the post office. and so and so out of my better judgment, I used the post office, right? So I had sent off the package, and like I'm thinking, like okay, this is like last month sometime I had sent it off, and like I'm like okay, it'll get there or whatever. Mind you, last month, and I'm not talking like like the 29th or like I'm talking about like towards the beginning of the month, last month, and so like around the 4th of July and stuff like that, I had sent it off, and so I literally yesterday got the confirmation that they had the book secured. I was like sweating literal balls all month long. Like, I just lost that book. That book is gone somewhere. I'm checking the tracking number. It says they have it. They say they don't have it. I'm like, well, how did they not have it? But it said they, and, and like the post office, like, we can't do anything. I'm like, but it says you delivered it, but they say they don't have it. And then like, I guess like they had it, but like they had like all the con stuff and all the other stuff going
All
on and
right.
stuff. So
It was just in the packages they hadn't got to
yeah,
you. Yeah.
or they had the find the replacement. No, shh, no playing. That's that dirty rumor that people say. No, I don't think they do that. But anyway, but yeah, so they finally like I was like seriously upset about that. I was like, man. And I was gonna do a rant video one day, and I was like, no. If I do a rant video, then I'll look stupid if it pops up and I have the book one day, and I do the unbox because I'm gonna do an unboxing when I get the book. So then I look dumb. I'm like, oh, didn't you do a rant about that book?
But you're better now. Everything's good.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Once I seen the confirmation thing, I was like, okay, they got my book. It's gonna get pressed and cleaned, and everything will be fine.
Mine
See,
won't.
so you got anything coming up?
Well, I usually do my Wednesdays videos, which are my undervalued spec books. Um, Also, next episode of Graders Notes coming up here. We're going to do issue of the Hulk, the Incredible Hulk, number 95, volume 3, number 95. It's the one with the Planet Hulk. It's the one where Hulk and Silver Surfer fight.
Oh snap! I'll have to check that one out then.
Yeah, so like I thought, try and pick an issue with a lot more action. We've been picking a lot of number ones. A lot of number ones tend to get into that number one itis where they spend most of the book just introducing.
Yeah, origin, like character build and stuff. Yeah.
So we try to pick a book with a little. It's already got the story, right? We just want the story of what's happening and stuff. Yeah, I go with the flow. Someone's going to invite me on their channel sooner or later.
Well, I'm glad you came on this channel.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I had a good time here.
Oh yeah, man. And myself tomorrow I'll be on the hunt with the Hunt World Champion JD Flair, Jeffrey the Heartbreak Kid, Comic Con Henson, and the voice of the voiceless CW Punk should be showing up, and we'll see if we can silence him ourselves.
Nice.
But also, I'll be doing the next episode of Grails will be on a special night. It'll be on Monday night because my guest is from Lords of the Long Box, and he's also from 3 Men in the Basement. I'm gonna have Otto from the Grotto on Monday night on What's Your Grails. So tune in for that Monday night.
I will.
So this has been What's Your Grails, guys. You have a good one, and I'll see you next episode.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Yeah, y'all have a good one, and I hope you